should see some dynamic and very entertaining football. So, how about we take a glance around the NFL and rank all 32 offenses from worst to first based on what we're expecting from them this upcoming season. Number 32, Carolina Panthers. While they have made a couple of nice strategic acquisitions this offseason on the offensive line and in the wide receiver room, the Carolina Panthers have entered the territory in which they'll need to prove it before we even consider moving them up the rankings. They were just that bad last year. Bryce Young will need to take a massive step forward in year 2. His first under Dave Canellis, and if he can't, well, it's going to be another disaster of a season for the fellas down in Charlotte. Number 31, New England Patriots. Whether it's Drake May or Jacoby Brissett, the fact of the matter is that this Patriots offense is a far cry from the high-powered units of the past. And now this undermanned unit is under the guidance of a first-year head coach in Jared Mayo. Yeah, just saying, this has all the makings of another dumpster fire year. Number 30, Minnesota Vikings. Whether they want to admit it or not, the Vikings are undergoing a pretty significant transition on offense after moving on from Kirk Cousins. And Sam Darnold is far from a sure thing. And he's going to be their primary option for the bulk of the season since rookie QB J.J. McCarthy went down with a gnarly knee injury. Number 29, Tennessee Titans. For the last few years, Tennessee's offense centered around Derrick Henry, but the aging star running back has a new home in Baltimore. Will Levis showed flashes last year, but his struggles went from bad to worse as the season continued. The bright side is that the Titans will have to be less one-dimensional than in years past, but we still expect some growing pains for this offense. Number 28, New York Giants. The Giants are searching for an offensive identity now that Saquon Barkley, who was the engine that drove this team for years, has left for their divisional rival, the Philadelphia Eagles. The receiving core finally got a potential number 1 target in Malik Neighbors, but he's still a rookie and will have his work cut out for him with Jones throwing him the pigskin. Number 27, Denver Broncos. Last year was supposed to be a fresh start for the Broncos in year 1 of the Sean Payton era, but things did not go as planned for that offense. Now they are running back the fresh start strategy, having moved on from the failed Russell Wilson experiment. Payton is very high on his rookie QB, Bo Nix, but we're bearish on this offense, to say the least. Number 26, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield stepped up in a big way last year following Tom Brady's retirement, but there are still major questions around his ability to endure as a starting quarterback in the NFL. We fear that there could be a major regression coming for Baker in the Bucs offense this year. Number 25, Cleveland Browns. With Deshaun Watson looking like a shell of himself still and Nick Chubb a major question mark, this Browns offense could be a disaster this year. And with no Joe Flacco to rescue them, Cleveland could be in some big trouble. Number 24, Las Vegas Raiders. After relying on Jimmy Garoppolo to keep the offense afloat, it seems that the Raiders haven't learned their lesson, considering that they're heading into 2024 with another injury-prone fringe starter in Gardner Minshew slotted in at QB1. Devontae Adams is still a star, but the loss of Josh Jacobs is gonna hurt more than they expect, especially with a first-year full-time head coach and defensive-minded one at that, in Antonio Pierce. Number 23, Washington Commanders. The Commanders are committed on Jaden Daniels as their starting quarterback, and while there certainly is potential there with a standout receiver in Terry McLaurin, that offense just isn't quite a finished product. It'll be interesting to see what Dan Quinn can do with this group during his first year in the nation's capital, though. Number 22, Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers have mercifully put a close to the Kenny Pickett era in Pittsburgh, and with 2 viable options in Russell Wilson and Justin Fields in the locker room, there is reason to be excited about the squad. The Steelers have solid weapons with the likes of Jalen Warren and Najee Harris in the backfield, and George Pickens streaking down the outside for deep balls. The quarterback position is still a bit of a mystery, but this is a vast improvement over the dreary, far-gone conclusion of Pickett under center. Number 21, Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals' offense is full of potential, but also uncertainty, especially with Kyler Murray still recovering from a significant injury and the departure of longtime wide receiver 1 Marquise Brown. Marvin Harrison Jr. should be a suitable replacement, if not an improvement, but still, he's a rookie. Plus, Cards fans will have to hope that Kyler actually opened up his playbook this offseason. Otherwise, this could get ugly fast. Number 20, New Orleans Saints. Derek Carr's arrival was supposed to bring stability to the Saints, but when he almost immediately got injured last year, it kinda did the opposite. That said, he has a chance to rewrite the story in NOLA this year if he can elevate the offense. Alvin Kamara remains a key weapon, and Chris Olave is a rising star. If Carr can step up and play at his best, this team could really round into form. Number 19, Atlanta Falcons. Now that Arthur Smith and his 1950s offense are finally out of the way, and of course the acquisition of Kirk Cousins, the Falcons have one of the more intriguing offenses. Bijan Robinson looked electric in spurts during his rookie season, and didn't make the immediate impact because of how Smith used him. The same could be said about tight end Kyle Kyle Pitts, and to a lesser extent, Drake London. So let's see what a competent quarterback and a new offensive system can do in Hotlanta. Number 18, Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are betting big on second-year quarterback Anthony Richardson, whose athleticism and raw talent, paired with Jonathan Taylor in the backfield, has all the potential in the world. But both guys have really struggled to stay healthy, which is gonna be absolutely critical to the success of this unit. Number 17, Seattle Seahawks. Geno Smith's career resurgence has been one of the biggest storylines in recent years. And with DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and rookie Jackson Smith-Njigba, the Seahawks boast one of the league's better receiving cores. He's a little streaky, but Kenneth Walker adds balance to the run game. It'll be interesting to see what they look like under the Mike McDonald regime in the first year post-Pete Carroll. Number 16, Buffalo Bills. The Bills might seem low on this list, but there are legitimate concerns about their offense heading into 2024. Josh Allen is still one of the best quarterbacks in the league, but the turnovers proved to be a real issue last year, in large part because the offense became too reliant on him. And with Stephon Diggs gone and a supporting cast that is continuing to thin, there is cause for concern in Western New York. Number 15, Green Bay Packers. The Packers are in a new era with Jordan Love in his second season starting at quarterback, and the exciting addition of former NFL rushing champion Josh Jacobs to that backfield. If Christian Watson can stay healthy and either Romeo Doubs or Jaden Reed step up, they could be very legit. Number 14, Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams could be a franchise-changing quarterback for the Bears, and this go-around, they put all the right pieces around him with DJ Moore and Keenan Allen at receiver and DeAndre Swift in the backfield. Oh, and not to mention that retooled offensive line. It might take a couple of weeks, but this Chicago offense looks like it is for real. Number 13, Jacksonville Jaguars. The second half of last season was tough for the Jaguars, but don't go writing them off for 2024, especially not on the offensive side of the ball. Lawrence is only 24 years old, and the potential for him to level up in 2024 is real. Number 12, Los Angeles Chargers. The Los Angeles Chargers didn't exactly light up the scoreboard last year, finishing 21st in scoring offense, but hey, this team should look completely different this year. Gone is the Kellen Moore-led offense featuring stars like Keenan Allen and Austin Eckler. Jim Harbaugh is going to completely change the system and the tone. And that might actually be what Justin Herbert needs to take the next step forward that we've all been waiting on. Number 11, Los Angeles Rams. The Rams offense could be boom or bust this year based on health. There is a lot riding on some older injury-prone bodies in Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford. But if both manage to stay upright all year, well, it could be a very special season in LA with Sean McVay scheming for them. Number 10, Cincinnati Bengals. The 2023 Bengals were a brutal reminder of how quickly injuries can derail a team. But this year, they'll have a chance to remind the league just how explosive they can be when things are clicking. With Burrow fully healed, we're talking about a quarterback who should be back to pushing the ball downfield to one of the best receiver duos in the game, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Number 9, Dallas Cowboys. I don't know about you, but the offseason strategy of reacquiring Ezekiel Elliott did not exactly move the needle for us. But with Dak under center and CeeDee Lamb expected to report, the Cowboys offense will still likely end up being a top 10. Number 8, New York Jets. Last year was a disaster for the Jets, but assuming Aaron Rodgers can play more than a handful of snaps, this Jets offense has some serious potential in 2024. Breece Hall and Garrett Wilson are legit game-breaking playmakers, and New York wisely reinvested in its O-line this offseason. So things should be looking a lot better in 2024. Number 7, Baltimore Ravens. We don't know about you, but we're pretty excited to see what this Ravens offense looks like with Derrick Henry in the backfield alongside Lamar Jackson. Granted, the king is aging, but he can squeeze a good year out of the twilight of his career, so I think this group could be very special. Number 6, Detroit Lions. The Detroit Lions offense was among the most dynamic in the league last year, as it was riding high on Jared Goff's career resurgence. If Goff can maintain that level, expect the Lions to continue their impressive offensive output. Number 5, Houston Texans. CJ Stroud has emerged as one of the most exciting young quarterbacks in the game, and with the addition of Stephon Diggs to an already extremely talented wide receiver room, the Texans offense could legit be top 5 this year. Number 4, Miami Dolphins. With Mike McDaniels calling the shots, the Dolphins have built one of the fastest and most exciting offenses in the NFL. Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle make for one of the most dangerous receiving duos in the league. In the run game, led by Raheem Mostert and Devon Achane, with talented rookie Jalen Wright waiting in the wings, adds a whole nother layer of speed to this offense. Look for the Dolphins to light up the scoreboard all season long. Number 3, San Francisco 49ers. Now that Brock Purdy has come into his own at quarterback, the sky really seems to be the limit for this bunch out in the Bay Area. With Christian McCaffrey as the centerpiece and a dual-threat option out of the backfield, and Deebo Samuel, and hopefully Brandon Ayuk, they will have all the weapons and versatility that they need to create a nightmare scenario for opposing defenses on a weekly basis. Number 2, Philadelphia Eagles. Jason Kelce's retirement will definitely hurt, but Philly Philly is still loaded on offense heading into 2024. Jalen Hurts has developed into one of the league's top quarterbacks, and with weapons like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, the passing game can be elite. There are some questions around their head coach Nick Sirianni and what he'll do with this offense following all the turnover on his coaching staff, but there's still more than enough firepower on this squad for them to excel. Number 1. Kansas City Chiefs. 2023 was a bit of a down year for the Chiefs offense, and yep, they still managed to win the Super Bowl. So it really feels like it would be sacrilege to put anyone other than Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Andy Reid, and the rest of this ridiculous Chiefs offense number 1 overall heading into the year. But which NFL offense do you think will be the best in the league this year? Where does your favorite NFL team stack up? What do you think we got right? What do you think we got wrong here? Let us know in the comment section below.